USB-C is finally everywhere. But if you think all Type-C cables are the same, you might be holding your devices back. Today, we are taking a deep dive into the messy world of USB-C cables. I've bought and tested a lineup of Anker cables ranging from a basic 60 watt all the way up to a 240 watt Thunderbolt 5 beast. We measured the resistance, checked the E-marker chips to help you figure out which one is actually worth your money. Let's get into it. Let's start with the basics, the Anker 310. It's a slim 3mm cable with a standard TPE jacket. It feels decently flexible. Spec-wise, this is a USB 2.0 60 watt cable, meaning it pushes a maximum of 3 amps and doesn't need a built-in E-marker chip. In our 4-wire resistance test, the 3-foot version came in at around 183 milliohms. That's pretty average, but completely normal for a basic 3-amp cable. Honestly, if you only need to charge a phone or a basic tablet under 60 watts, this is a solid budget option. Stepping up, we have the Anker 100 watt cable. This one features a nylon braided sleeve, aluminum connector shells, and proper strain relief at the ends. Because it pushes up to 5 amps, it has a built-in E-marker chip. Reading the chip confirms it supports 20 volts/5 amps charging at USB 2.0 data speeds. The 3.3-foot version measured about 104 milliohms, which is right where a good 5-amp cable should be. Keep in mind though, it is noticeably stiffer than the 60-watt version, which can be slightly annoying if you're trying to route it neatly on a desk. But its broad compatibility for laptops and high-power power banks makes it a very versatile choice. Next up is the Anker Zolo. Aesthetically, it's very clean with incredibly slim aluminum connectors. However, it lacks strain relief for bending. The braided material here feels noticeably softer and more manageable than the previous 100 watt cable. Interestingly, the box might say 140 watts, but our E-marker reader identifies it as a 240 watt EPR cable. The 3.3-foot version gave us an excellent resistance reading of just 94 milliohms. For daily use, this is actually my top recommendation. It's fully future-proofed for 140 watt MacBook Pros or PD 3.1 chargers, has great resistance, and feels premium. Just be mindful not to bend it too hard near the connector since there's no extra reinforcement there. Moving to the mid-high end, we have the Upcycled-Braided 240 watt cable. It uses a mix of silicone and recycled braiding, making it incredibly soft to the touch. It has a unibody strain relief design, a nice metal accent ring, and includes a silicone cable tie. It supports 240 watts EPR and Anker's proprietary 150 watts fast charging. Out of the box, the 3-foot version measures around 116 milliohms. But I have to give you a quick warning here. While the initial experience is excellent, I have serious concerns about its durability. I bought 2 6-foot versions of this last year, and after a short period of use, the resistance spiked significantly. I'm not sure if Anker has revised the design since, but it's definitely something to keep in mind before you buy. If you want the flagship experience, here is the Anker Prime 240 watts. The build quality gets a massive upgrade with sturdy aluminum connectors, robust strain relief, and a silver-black braid that feels incredibly premium and soft. It supports all the high wattage standards, and the physical durability here is top tier. However, for a premium cable, the electrical resistance is surprisingly mediocre. The 3-foot version tested at 125 milliohms, which means you are definitely paying a premium price for the physical build and feel rather than raw electrical efficiency. Now for the absolute unit, the Anker Prime Thunderbolt 5. This isn't just a charging cable, it's a passive TB5 cable, fully USB 4 compatible, capable of an insane 80 gigabits per second data transfer, and 240 watt charging. Because it houses way more internal cores using a non-coaxial design, it is thick and very stiff. The 3.3-foot version gave us a class-leading resistance of just 73 milliohms. It's Intel certified, highly stable, and very expensive. Obviously, do not buy this just to charge your phone. It's way overkill and too stiff for that. This is strictly for professionals who need ultra-fast data transfers or are running multiple 8K displays. Finally, why am I including a USB-A to C cable in 2026? Because some low-power devices like electric shavers or fans simply won't charge with C2C cables. This cable shares the same ultra-soft silicone and upcycled braid as earlier. Being a 3A cable, it tops out around 18 watts. A 6-foot length measured about 190 milliohms. The resistance is high, but for 18-watt devices, it really doesn't matter. It's just a great, high-quality legacy cable to keep in a drawer for those stubborn small gadgets. To wrap this up, which one should you actually buy? For daily use, my top pick is the Anker Zolo 240 watts. It hits the sweet spot of great feel, low resistance, and covers almost any device you own. Just be gentle with the connector. If you're on a strict budget, the 60 watts or 100 watts are fine. Just remember the 100 watts is a bit stiff. If you care heavily about cable softness, the upcycled braided versions feel amazing, but you do trade off a bit of electrical efficiency, resulting in slightly higher resistance and heat. And lastly, if you are a creative pro moving massive files or running high-end displays, the Prime Thunderbolt 5 is an absolute powerhouse. Which cable are you running in your daily setup? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe for more tech deep dives, and I'll see you in the next one.